Hello, good afternoon. All right, I'm live on Facebook and YouTube. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me adjust my seat a little bit here. So, I want to get right on into it. It's your favorite Dr. Honey, Dr. Faith Abraham, and I am coming to you live because I want to have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. And I told the last time I went live, I was saying that I would come on live more because I've been having a lot of conversations with people, with clients, with loved ones, family members, just people. And one of the things in particular, one of the conversations that I had in particularly recently, this was when the whole P Diddy thing came about. I was having a conversation with someone, and she was saying that okay, for those of you, let me not assume, for those of you who don't know, P. Diddy obviously is very wealthy and has had some issues of recent with things that he's done in his past. And there's a lot of videos on social media pointing to and attributing his wealth to demonic things, demonic behaviors, the occult, witchcraft, different things of that nature. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and she said quite vehemently that that is it. I see now you cannot have a lot of money without doing something that's demonic or that's not godly. And I was like, wow, that's a serious conclusion to come to, right? And I'm going somewhere with this. So just hang on and follow me, right? And I was like, that's a really interesting conclusion that you would come to. I said, could it also be that a lot of people, um, and I didn't want to get into a teaching, I just want to have a conversation, but let's get into it. Because what I feel like is happening is a lot of times we look at who's in the public eye and who's being covered in the media to tell us what is life and to tell us how things go. And that is just not the case. Yes, a lot of times you will hear stories about, the news doesn't cover everyday things. The news covers the outlandish, the outrageous, the unicorn, the some things that are not normal, right? Because those are the things that are going to grab attention. Those are the things that people want to hear about. So, yes, it's going to be very interesting to hear about this millionaire mogul who has made all this money. And now we see that that money has been attributed to evil behavior and evil doings. Okay. And so then what we're going to do is based on our belief system, based on what we have been taught, we are going to say, exactly. That's why we don't have that much money. That's why I don't want to be a billionaire. That's why I don't want to be a millionaire because I don't want to do evil things. But is it that evil is required for you to be a millionaire or to have abundance or to be prosperous? Or is it that that's what's interesting to us? That is what's being shown to us. That is what's being revealed to us. Because the truth of the matter is, if you are a human being, we're created in the image and likeness of God. So if we're created in the image and likeness of God, then that means that we are created from a place of abundance. Somebody please catch what I'm saying. Please catch what I'm saying, right? We come from and are created from a place of abundance, which is God. So if we are created from a place of abundance, from God who is abundant. Hey, Pastor Jameson, how are you? Please, my greetings to your lovely wife, my friend. If we are really his children and if we are created from that place of abundance, then that means abundance is our birthright. That means we are supposed to be abundant. We are supposed to prosper. We are supposed to be wealthy. We are supposed to be healthy. We are supposed to be strong. We are to be the head and not the tail, above and not beneath. And so I challenged my friend and I said, okay, is that actually true, or is that what media is feeding us? Is that what media wants us to believe, so that we who actually have a heart to do things the right way won't have the funds to do things the right way? I told you I was going somewhere. You just had to hang on with me, right? One of the things that we have to really understand is that if you are a person of abundance, then that is who you are. You can't run from it. You can't escape it. That's what's on your life. But just because you don't see it, just because it hasn't materialized in your life, does not mean that it is not your birthright. My birthright is as a firstborn Nigerian, to my parents. I'm the Ada, what we call Ada. That's the firstborn. With that role and that position in my family line, I'm the oldest of five. I am the second mom to my siblings. That's my birthright. I was born first. So because I'm the firstborn daughter, I am next in line to operate as a mother to my siblings. Because I am the Ada, I am the firstborn in my family line, I by default have rights, privileges, respect, and honor from my siblings and from other families because of my position that I was born into as the firstborn. I hope y'all catching what I'm saying. I hope y'all picking up what I'm putting down here. Because of the place in the lineage of my parents that I was born, that comes with certain rights and privileges that I can never run away from. I can run if I want to. I can act like I'm not the oldest. I can act like I'm not the firstborn daughter. But the truth of the matter is, I am. And because I am, that comes with let's say, a crown that I wear for the rest of my life. Now, I can step into that and operate from that place. And therefore, because I'm operating from that place, I take on certain responsibilities towards my siblings, showing them the way to go, showing them how to do things. I'm the oldest, so I don't have somebody telling me, do this or do that. I just go experiment, do this and do that, find out what works and what doesn't work, and then report back to my siblings so they can have it better than I did. This is my birthright as the oldest. And because of my birthright, because of my position, I stay in that position and I operate from that place with the power, dominion, and authority bestowed upon me because I'm the firstborn daughter. Because you are a child of God, you are a creation, you were created by God. You have the position of abundance, of prosperity. Hey, beauty, how are you? Welcome to the broadcast. Right? You have the position, you have the authority, you have the posture of abundance, of prosperity. Just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean that it doesn't belong to you. Just because you haven't tapped into it doesn't mean that it doesn't belong to you. You have a crown of prosperity, of abundance that you should be wearing every day of your life. Now, just because you haven't done what is needful so you can wear that crown doesn't mean that that crown has not been bestowed upon you. It's upon you, but you got to rock it. You got to wear it. You have to pick up that crown with all the responsibilities, the rights, and the privileges that comes with it. Wear that crown and operate from that place that crown has given to you. When we see people who are not honoring God, who don't, use his name in vain and all this other stuff, that doesn't mean that because they, they've seen it and we haven't, that means it's meant for them. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Everyone is made for abundance because we came from a place of abundance. So how do you become a millionaire that's a believer? Because I'm not going to sit up here and act like I don't realize or I don't see that there's a lot of believers who are struggling. The reason why we're struggling is because our belief system is in alignment with struggle. Our belief system is not in alignment or in agreement with prosperity, with abundance, with overflow, with miracle upon miracle. I like to say, Lord, I don't want breakthrough. I want to be in a perpetual place of breakthrough. I don't want to need a miracle. I want miracles to be my second nature. That's just how we get down over here. Right? I want there to be perpetual miracles, perpetual health, wealth, abundance. That is who I don't have to think about it because it's just flowing, and be able to honor God as I'm doing that. That is who we are. That's what's supposed to happen. But because we've believed certain things and we've taken on certain beliefs, many people will never see that. But yet there are many people who love God, who honor God, but you will never know because media and people don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about when a believer messes up because they feel like when a believer messes up, then that means that God's not real. When all it really means is that that person is human. And that's what human beings do, right? So they don't want to show that a child of God who has wealth, who is edifying God, who is building up the kingdom, who is using their wealth to make a difference, starting foundations, building schools, funding hospitals, funding. They don't want to show that. That's not going to help their cause to reduce the power of God. Right? I hope you're following me. So how do we go from just being a person who is meant for abundance, but not yet seeing abundance? How do we make that shift? How do we wear our crown and stay in our position, in our posture? Well, first of all, we have to tap into who you identify yourself as. I just told you, I'm the firstborn daughter to Nigerian parents. I know this. There's nothing on this planet or anything anybody can say to me that will try and prove me otherwise. I know my role. That is a part of my identity. I am the firstborn. I am a leader. I was born a leader. Right? So I'm going to operate and act that way. I see myself as that. Therefore, I act that way. I can't run away from it if I wanted to. So our identity has to be that of, as a believer, as someone who loves God, I am a person of abundance. Blessings. Are you in Nigeria? It's afternoon here. You said good evening, right? Or somewhere overseas, right? What's your identity? Who do you see yourself as? Do you see yourself as Joe's kid and Joe wasn't ever doing anything good and he was barely making it, and you're a son of a person who was barely making it, so now you're barely making it? Or are you a child of the King? And as a child of the King, those who have gone before you and have shown you what is possible you're Nigeria. Okay. Yeah, representing. Right? Those who have gone before you, like Abraham, like Isaac, like Joseph, like, should I continue? Okay. Solomon, like David, like, so many examples. So if we know that those are our predecessors, why do we not tap into the kingship that's on our own lives? Why isn't our identity wrapped up? Come on, as a child of the King. Why is your identity not wrapped up in that? Why don't you realize and see that you are the apple of God's eye? That when he was talking about you being the lender and not the borrower, he was talking about you. The head and not the tail, he was talking about you. Above and not beneath, he was talking about you. Like whatever your identity is, your life is going to produce after how you see yourself. So if you see yourself as struggle, then that's what your life is going to be. If you see your life as fruitful, if you see your life as abundant, if you see your life as prosperous, as if you see yourself in that way, then that is what you're going to produce. You literally can't even run away from it, because that is how you see yourself. But if you see yourself as, oh, everybody's done me wrong, everybody's always trying to get over on me, everybody's always like, nobody likes me, I'm always having difficulty, this never works out, then you're going to have that. That's going to be your life, because that's your identity. That's how you see yourself. That's how you see your life. Your life can't produce any more than how you see yourself. It just can't. But when you see yourself as an overcomer, as victorious, as prosperous, I see myself, I literally try to close my eyes and see my both of my thumbs as golden. I have the golden touch. I have a golden thumb. Everything I touch succeeds. Everything I touch wins. Everything I do wins. I can't lose if I try to, because I have a winning God. Winning is in my DNA. The same way I know I'm a dark skin with brown eyes is the same way I know that winning is in my DNA. The same way. The same way I know my grandmama is still living well, healthy, doing her thing. I already know I'm gonna live a long life because she's already given me an example. See, but I've tapped into that. Now, does that mean that I don't have other examples? I do have other examples, but I don't want that example. I want her example. Right? I want that example. The example that I want is the example that I have. King Solomon, that wisdom that he had that allowed him to lead and allowed him to literally be a consultant to kingdoms all over. Yep, that's my example. That's me. That's me. I have wisdom is all over me. You can't ask me a question and I won't know the answer. And some people say, oh, well, that's so arrogant. That's so egotistical. If you think that and you feel that way, that's because that you don't see yourself that way, because someone who is on that same level will not see that as egotistical. They will see that as, yeah, for real. Absolutely. Keep going. Talk about it. Because that's the truth. See, that's the truth. You get to choose what identity you have. And the identity you choose, the identity that you see is the identity that you walk in. If you feel like you're always what's that phrase that they say sometimes up, sometimes down, sometimes level to the ground, then you sure right. Now, is that what God said? No, but you feel like that's your life, so that's your life. I'm going somewhere. So listen, I want you to understand something. The more you realize that who you are and how you identify yourself is going to dictate and determine your life, the more you will realize that so much of your life is really in your hands. I say this and I say this to uh, knowing that I may get some folks mad, but the truth is, God can't even do for you beyond what you believe He can do for you. Now, granted, there are some times, well, he will, he'll come in and he'll intercede and he'll do some things and move some stuff around. However, there's certain things in your life that if you do not have the capacity for it, if you don't have the belief system to hold that thing up, God can't even give it to you, because all you're going to do is throw it on the ground because you don't have the capacity for it. What are you going to do with it? God says He wants to prosper you, but you think prospering is evil. You're going to dispose of it. You're not going to do anything with it. God wants to give you a spouse, a God-fearing, loving spouse. You don't even know what to do with that, because godly things scare you. You don't want to humble yourself unto God. Well, here's what I know, and this is what I really came on to share with you. There are millionaires, there are multimillionaires, there are billionaires that are believers, that love God and that are literally called according to his purpose. The question is, will you decide and choose to be one of those people? It's your birthright, but you can choose to use your birthright, or you can choose, hello, from Pakistan. You can choose to operate from your birthright, or you can choose to squander it and throw it on the ground. It's up to you. It is up to you. You can choose to be put off by some of the things that you see on TV and on social media. And social media has a grip on so many of us, but it's like, it's not that powerful unless we give it that power. So you're going to go align yourself with what you're seeing, or you're going to align yourself with the word, with what God said. Which one? Choose which one, right? When someone was asking me the other day, oh, Dr. Faith, I thought you do counseling. Why are you talking about digital products and this? And I still do counseling. I still do. I can't run from counseling even if I tried. I couldn't run from counseling even if I tried. That's part of my calling. I couldn't even, I do it in my sleep. But I also recognize and realize when there is a shifting taking place in the atmosphere, when there's a shift taking place. There was the gold rush, there was oil, there was Bitcoin, there was all these different moments in time and in history, the Industrial Revolution, all these times and moments in history where things were shifting, where the wealth was changing hands. People were being lifted up by new ways, legal ways of creating and attaining wealth. And guess what? Digital products, or digital marketing, you might hear it called, is one of those ways. I've seen it for myself in my own business. If y'all don't know, my whole testimony is I went from $9.25 an hour to having a multi-million-dollar valued company. That wasn't by chance. I chose to be that woman. I chose to be that type of individual. I chose to wear that crown of abundance and operate and work in that, whether people liked it or not. When there's a wealth transfer, and it's not going to come by an angel writing a check and handing it to you, it's going to come by you tapping into the changing of the tides, the shift that's taking place, and it's online, it's digital. You have to tap into it. You have to find your place when there's a shifting that's taking place. You have to, when you see it, when you start just do some research. The same time that you would spend scrolling on social media, I want you to take about 15 minutes and do some research. Type in digital marketing. Type it in. Type it in on Google, digital marketing. Then from there, you can go on my YouTube, you can see some stuff. Go on my Instagram, you can see some stuff. Go on my Facebook, you can see some stuff. I'm going to cancel. That is my calling. That is my purpose. But I also realize that I can use digital products to help propel the counseling and the healing and the literally mind renewal and mind transformation that's happening with my clients through digital products. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. Like, if I'm born and I'm here, then I must be born for such a time as this. And if I'm here in this time, in this day and age, with electronic devices, laptops and computers and all this other stuff, then guess what? I'm going to take it. Listen, the violent take it by force. Take your wealth by force. Take your abundance by force. Take your prosperity by force, and give all glory to God when you do it and when you get it. Come on now. This is what it is. The earth suffered violence, and the violent take it by force. Does Monza do digital ebooks? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why we created Vonsa. We saw the shifting and we saw we had to tap into what was the inevitable. The inevitable is digital marketing. That's ebooks, that's MP3s, that's videos, that's courses. All that stuff is digital marketing. And we know, and y'all seen our works. I don't have to talk about it. Y'all seen our fruit. Y'all know what we do with money that we generate with any of our businesses. We post it on Facebook all the time because we want people to know that you can be a millionaire and love God. You don't have to subtract God from the money equation. Money is even within itself a terrible master. Everybody bows to something. You can bow to money or you can bow to the one that created the whole concept in the first place. Oh, if you have a lot of money, then you this kind of person, you're that kind of person. No, money just shows you who you really are. If you really want to know the truth, if you're greedy and you're stingy, when you have money, you're still going to be greedy and stingy. If you're generous and empathetic, when you have money, you're going to be generous and empathetic. Do it the right way so people don't trample over you. Have boundaries and things of that nature, okay? However, you're going to be, it's just going to show you who you are. That's all money does. But if you don't have a master, then it's going to master and try to rule over you. But if you know that you are the master of money, then you can master money and have that money not only work for you, but work on your behalf. And you master it and you circulate it and you send it around and it comes right on back to you. Every time you circulate it, every time you put it out, it comes right on back to you because you know how to work it. It doesn't work you. You don't work for it. It works for you. I told you I didn't want to come on here and preach, but here we are. Here we are. Okay? But I'm saying, for those of you who just came on, I started off by saying I had a conversation with someone, and she was saying that she feels like in order for you to have a lot of money and to be very wealthy, a multimillionaire, billionaire, you have to do bad things. And I challenged her and I said, I just don't believe that. If the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, I just don't believe that. Now, that's what they're going to put in our face. So we will believe that and therefore forsake our birthright. Hey, they want us to believe that. So we will forsake our birthright. Oh, right? But we will not do so. We will rise up. We will take our abundance. We will live in our abundance. We will be unapologetic about our abundance. Why not? If I can help people with the wealth that's coming into my hands, why not? If I can build up people who all they need is just one chance, all they need is one opportunity, all they need is just a little bit of funding, why not? I can't do it for everybody, but I can do it for somebody. That's why we have the orphanage that we have. That's why we're helping orphans and widows in Nigeria. That's why we're funding different projects in other countries as well. But we're not sitting there, you know, frustrated about money like that, like we were before in the beginning. Okay, let's just be clear. We were, but we got to a place where we said, you know what, the violent take it by force. We're going to put ourselves in a position where we can be the lender. We're going to put ourselves in a position and be in front of the trend, be in front of what's happening. How long have I been on here? Listen, I give myself a span of 30 minutes because I have different things I need to get to. But I just want you to know I love you. And I believe that with my whole heart, you are made for abundance. It is your birthright. It belongs to you, but it will pass you by if you believe things, if your identity is not in agreement with said abundance. I talked a little bit about digital marketing. If you want to know more about it, then join me on I'll have a webinar going on Sunday night, and it's I'll put the link in the comments, but it's bit.ly/digitalcoins24. No spaces, all lowercase. It's a webinar, and I'll be doing that on this Sunday night. And I'm going to be talking more about digital marketing. I'm going to be talking about what's happening, who can tap into it, how to tap into it, because a lot of people talk about it, but don't talk about the how. Tell me the how. I hear you already. Now tell me the how I do it. So I'll be talking about that on Sunday. So I would love for you to join me. But even if you don't, please let me know. Not even let me know. Let yourself know. Answer yourself. Will you take on your birthright? No, bit.ly, B as in boy, lowercase b as in boy. Let me just type it for you guys now, since you were almost there with it. I see you put it in the chat. Thank you, but you were almost there. But let me just do it. / digital coins. Okay, 24. There it goes. Digital coins 24. So yeah, join me for that. That's happening on Sunday. Let me see. Y'all were putting stuff up here, and I was just in the flow. Anything you have faith in will come to pass. If you don't, what do you say? Will pass. Yes, will pass you by if you don't put in the work. Absolutely. And the truth is, faith works both ways. So if you have faith that it won't work, because that's what your faith is in. You said it's not going to work. You don't feel like it's going to work. You have all this doubt. You have all this fear. So it's not going to work. That's faith in it not working. But if you have faith that it can work, it does work. Your identity and your belief system are in agreement with that thing working. Then what happens is, so now you're talking about going from the spiritual realm and tapping into the physical realm, right? So if you have faith that it can work and it does work, and your belief system, right, which is basically a physical construct, is in agreement with your spiritual, now you're in alignment. Now you're in agreement. So that thing can come to pass because your belief system says yes. Your belief system says, okay, this can work. Your faith says, yes, this can work. And now you're in sync with your own self. But if you're saying, well, I don't, it could, you're double-minded, it's not going to work. If you have more faith that something bad is going to happen to you, then something good is going to happen to you, then something bad is going to happen to you. If you have faith, but it's not in agreement with your belief system or your identity, how you see yourself and how you perceive your own life, then you're out of alignment. You're not even in sync with yourself. So it's going to be very difficult for it to come to pass. That's a whole teaching. That's a whole, the disciples were all entrepreneurs. Yes, they were. The disciples were all entrepreneurs. Jesus had a treasurer. Listen. You're not going to have a treasurer if you don't have no money. The person that doesn't have an accountant don't have no money. You don't have a financial planner, it's because you don't have no money. It's very simple. But as soon as you have something to manage, you get yourself a financial planner. Right? Makes sense. So there was money. There is money. But it answers all things. Yeah, money does answer all things. That is the word. Okay, I think you needed this on today. Yes. Let's see. A double-minded man is unstable. That's right. It's unstable in all your ways. all your ways. So that's why the father who had the son who was throwing himself into the fire, he was literally he was self-harming himself. He said, Lord, I believe, but help my unbelief. So he knew he had some unbelief, right? And he knew that unbelief could get in the way of what he was believing and wanting God to do for him. So he said, I believe, but even I still got a little unbelief in me. Help me with that part. And that's just being honest, right? Like, let's just be honest. Let's just be real. And he still got what he prayed for. But, he had to acknowledge it, right? So that's that. Go to Elevate Church page, Atlanta, on Facebook, and you'll see it there. But thanks, guys, for joining me. I know it's the middle of the day. And if you'll join me on Sunday night, I'd love to see you there. Again, I'll put it in the comment section. And then, like I was saying, yeah, that's what I was saying. I'll end off with this. If you know that your birthright is abundance, own your birthright. Take it. It may cause you to have to budget. It may cause you to have to do some inner work, which is always the thing. It may cause you to have to let go of beliefs and belief systems that have perpetuated poverty, perpetuated struggle in your life. That is okay. Let go of those things so that you can be in agreement with not only yourself, but also with the word, because the word doesn't fail. All right. All right. So I love you. I'll definitely see you soon. Yay. Thank you so much, Doc. I appreciate you being on. Take care. And I'll see you on Sunday if you so decide to join me. If not, you'll see me again on live because I'm making space. I'm making room in my schedule so that I can be joining you guys on live more. So have a great day and I'll talk to you soon.